Hey everyone, welcome back to the Turing Test Podcast. I'm Jamie, and today we're diving into a pretty controversial topic, AI and the ethics of deepfakes and synthetic media. And joining me is Rachel. How's it going, Rachel?
Hey Jamie, I'm good. Excited to get into this topic. It's one that's been making waves lately, especially with all the advancements in AI.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with the basics. Deepfakes, for those who might not know, are AI-generated synthetic media where a person's likeness is manipulated to create fake images, videos, or audio. And it's not just about making funny videos or memes. There are some serious ethical concerns here.
Right, and the technology has gotten so advanced that it's becoming harder and harder to distinguish between what's real and what's fake. I mean, we have AI-generated text that's almost indistinguishable from human-written text. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's not just text. Voice assistants like Cortana and Siri are getting more realistic. Google's Duplex, for example, can make calls on behalf of a person in a way that's almost indistinguishable from a human voice. But, with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Exactly. The ethical implications are huge. For instance, deepfake technology can be used to create fake videos of politicians saying things they never said. This could have a massive impact on elections and democratic processes.
Yeah, and it's not just politics. Think about the personal harm. Imagine a teenager finding an explicit deepfake video of themselves on social media. The psychological impact could be devastating.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about the potential for financial scams. Deepfake audio could be used to impersonate CEOs or other high-profile individuals to deceive investors or commit fraud.
And it's not just about deception. There's also the issue of consent. Training these AI models often involves using real people's faces and voices without their permission. That's a huge ethical red flag.
Totally. And there's also the issue of bias. If the training data is biased, the AI will be biased too. This could lead to racial and cultural biases in the synthetic media that's produced.
Yeah, and that's something we really need to address. But, there are some positive uses for this technology too. For example, in art and accessibility. AI can help create more inclusive content for people with disabilities.
Sure, but the negative uses seem to outweigh the positives at this point. The erosion of trust in media is a big deal. People are already skeptical about what they see and hear, and deepfakes just make it worse.
And that's the thing, right? We're already living in a post-truth era where fake news is a common term. Deepfakes just add fuel to the fire.
Exactly. And it's not just about fake news. Authoritarian regimes could use deepfakes to discredit opposition or manipulate public opinion. It's a tool for oppression.
And let's not forget about the liar's dividend. Any inconvenient truth can be dismissed as a deepfake, making it even harder to hold people accountable.
Oh, great. Just what we need. More ways for politicians to dodge responsibility.
Yeah, it's a mess. But, before we continue, just a quick shout out to Augmented AI, the producer of the Turing Test Podcast. Augmented AI hosts a variety of cutting-edge courses in generative AI, large language models, edge AI, robotics, and computer vision. You can get a free generative AI course at bit.ly/Turing Test Podcast or go to www.augmentedstartups.com.
Thanks for that, Jamie. So back to the topic. What do you think about the current efforts to detect deepfakes? Are they effective?
Well, there are tools out there that can help distinguish AI-generated text from human-written text. These tools look for predictable statistical patterns in synthetic text. But honestly, the technology is still playing catch-up.
Yeah, and the problem is that as detection methods improve, so do the deepfakes. It's like a never-ending arms race.
Exactly. And longer bodies of text, like regulatory submissions, might allow detection algorithms to make more confident judgments. But it's still not foolproof.
And let's not forget about voice and video. Detecting deepfake videos and audio is even more challenging. The technology to create these deepfakes is advancing so rapidly that detection methods are struggling to keep up.
And that's a big problem, because if we can't reliably detect deepfakes, how can we trust anything we see or hear?
Exactly. It's a huge issue for journalism and media. How can journalists do their job if they can't trust their sources?
And it's not just journalists. Think about the legal system. Deepfakes could be used to create fake evidence. How do you prove what's real and what's not in a court of law?
Yeah, and that's terrifying. the potential for misuse is enormous, and the fact that this technology is becoming more accessible means that it's not just governments or big corporations that can create deepfakes. Anyone with a decent computer and some know-how can do it.
Great. Just what we need. More tools for chaos.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dystopian nightmare, but, there are some efforts to regulate this technology. Some states in the U.S. have passed laws against the malicious use of deepfakes.
Yeah, but enforcement is a whole other issue. How do you track and prosecute someone for creating a deepfake, especially if they're doing it anonymously online?
Exactly. And even if you can track them down, the damage is already done. Once a deepfake is out there, it's almost impossible to completely remove it from the internet.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. But, education is key. People need to be aware of the existence of deepfakes and be skeptical of what they see and hear online.
Absolutely. Media literacy is more important than ever. People need to know how to critically evaluate information and look for signs of manipulation.
And that's not just for adults. Kids need to learn this stuff too. They're growing up in a digital world where deepfakes are a reality.
Totally. Schools need to start teaching media literacy as part of the curriculum. It's a crucial skill for the 21st century.
Yeah. And we also need to hold tech companies accountable. They have a responsibility to ensure their platforms aren't being used to spread deepfakes and other forms of misinformation.
Absolutely. And they need to invest in better detection and removal tools. It's not enough to just say, oh, we're working on it. They need to show real results.
Yeah. Because we all know how well we're working on it has worked in the past.
Right? It's like the tech industry's favorite excuse. But seriously, they need to step up.
Yeah. And governments need to get involved too. We need clear regulations and guidelines for the use of deepfake technology.
Definitely. And international cooperation is key. This isn't just a problem for one country. It's a global issue.
Absolutely. We need a coordinated effort to tackle this problem. Otherwise, we're just playing whack-a-mole.
Yeah, and we all know how frustrating that game is. But, there's also a role for the public. People need to be vigilant and report deepfakes when they see them.
Yeah. And we need to support organizations that are working to combat deepfakes and misinformation. It's going to take a collective effort to make a difference.
Absolutely. And, we also need to have open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of this technology. It's not enough to just focus on the technical aspects. We need to consider the human impact.
Totally. And that's why podcasts like this are so important. We need to keep the conversation going and raise awareness about these issues.
Yeah. And speaking of raising awareness, don't forget to check out Augmented AI University to upgrade your skills and become an AI expert fast. Go to bit.ly/Turing Test Podcast to enroll in your free cutting-edge AI course at augmentedstartups.com. See you next time.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Stay informed and stay skeptical. Until next time, this is Jamie and Rachel signing off from the Turing Test Podcast.